Jamie, let me know. Okay. Okay. Good morning. My name is Professor James Moriarty. As faculty marshal, it is my privilege to declare the 123rd Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts commencement ceremony is now in order. Please remain standing. On behalf of the faculty at MCLA, it is my distinct honor to bring congratulations and greetings to all graduates here today. We are proud of you and all your accomplishments. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the 12th President of the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, Dr. James F. Burge.
Good morning. On behalf of my colleagues, the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, I am honored to convene today's 123rd commencement exercises. I'm delighted to preside over today's commencement as the 12th president of MCLA and to welcome family members, faculty, staff, alumni, friends, and distinguished guests on this special day. And of course, welcome and congratulations to the class of 2022. As we begin today's ceremony, please remain standing for the performance of the national anthem. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome senior student Abby Daggett, accompanied by 2019 Masters of Education alumnus pianist Tim Rougeau.
Hi, everyone. It's a little short. Hold on. There we go. All right, hit it, Tim. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Abby and Tim. I would also like to thank Fine and Performing Arts Professor Kathleen Carbone for working with Abby and Tim on that beautiful performance. Please be seated. For each of you graduates today, commencement is the culmination of years of academic work and accomplishment. During your time at MCLA, you have compiled a long list of accomplishments and inspired us with your success in the classroom, in the lab, on the stage, in the gallery, on the athletic playing surfaces, and in the community. You've studied abroad, conducted research, participated in service trips and internships, and created community service programs to meet the needs you saw in our community. You were inducted into honor societies, held offices in student government, produced works of art, theater, dance, and spoken word, scored goals, runs, and baskets. You've crossed the finish line. Some of you returned to school after time off, bringing with you professional and life experiences that enriched class discussions and that underscore the importance of lifelong learning. Those of you who have fulfilled the requirements for a master's degree in education or a certificate of advanced graduate study have devoted yourselves to changing the lives of students through the power of education. Others, like those of you earning your MBA today, have balanced work while attending class on weekends and online to become better leaders and managers. Many of you worked full-time or multiple part-time jobs while you pursued your degree. Some of you are parents, step-parents, and foster parents raising families or caring for parents and grandparents, and you completed your education while balancing a plethora of responsibilities. Normally, the accomplishments of earning one academic degree is significant. This year, that accomplishment is nothing short of extraordinary. To have been a student during the last 2 years during a global pandemic was quite difficult. All things, attending class remotely, attending class in person, conducting research, completing an internship, participating in extracurricular activities, eating in the Centennial Room, participating in fine and performing arts events, maintaining friendships, all of these activities and so many more were complicated by the pandemic. Yet you persevered. You were courageous. You were strong. You were innovative, thoughtful, caring. You were persistent. The accomplishments you've made have left an indelible mark on the faculty and staff, on the board of trustees, and on me that we will never forget. Without knowing it, you have renewed for each of us our commitment to MCLA's mission and purpose. You're not leaving MCLA with only a degree this year, but also with our deep gratitude for all that you have given to us. You've set an example for all of us to follow and have made your families, friends, and all of us at MCLA proud of you. Graduates, we are also here on this very special day because of the work of many, many members of the MCLA community who have put great energy and caring into making today a wonderful day to honor your accomplishments. Today's exercises are made possible with the energy and enthusiasm of our staff in facilities, media services, information technology, student affairs, residence life and housing, academic affairs, the registrar's office, MCLA dining services, public safety, institutional advancement, the commencement committee, and countless volunteers. Let's thank this group with a round of applause. At a small college like ours, we have the good fortune to get to know our students and they get to know us. There are many people who have contributed in special ways to the accomplishments of our graduates, especially the faculty and staff at MCLA. They care deeply about their work and take a personal interest in your educational experiences and well-being. My colleagues and I are called to our work at MCLA by one common purpose. We want to contribute to the education of the next generation of leaders. Because of that purpose, our faculty give of their time and expertise generously and without hesitation as we continue to build and shape the future of MCLA and public higher education. Our dedicated staff and administrators work in partnership with the faculty. No matter their role or assignment, our staff members go above and beyond to make MCLA a place where students can achieve powerful results. They serve the college with distinction, and their commitment to our students, our community, and one another is inspiring. I invite the faculty, administrators, and staff of MCLA who are here today to please stand so that graduates and families can recognize and thank you. At MCLA, we are fortunate to be served by 3 volunteer boards: our Alumni Board, the MCLA Foundation Board, and the MCLA Board of Trustees. Appointed by the governor, our trustees represent the Commonwealth and MCLA with distinction and passion. Our trustees bring an array of professional, civic, and academic expertise. They are generous with their time and their resources so that we can remain a strong and vibrant institution. They are true champions of MCLA. Thank you, trustees, and thank you for the representatives from the MCLA Foundation and alumni boards. I ask that you all please stand and be recognized for your many contributions to MCLA. Our students and our communities are well served by public staff and officials who believe in the work that we do at MCLA and who represent us with great passion and advocacy. Now more than ever, we need inspired, courageous, and committed leaders who serve the public good and advocate for our public colleges and universities. We are fortunate to have with us today some of the people who provide that leadership and commitment, including John Barrett, Representative Barrett, and Representative Paul Mark. I ask that our distinguished guests please stand for a moment to be recognized. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the chair of MCLA's Board of Trustees, Mr. Mohan Boodram. Chair Boodram has served as an MCLA trustee for 10 years, including the most recent 2 years as chair. He has held other leadership roles on the board, including chair of the Enrollment Management Committee and co-chair of the 2016 Presidential Search Committee. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Boodram to the podium.
Good morning. On behalf of the MCLA Board of Trustees, I offer a warm welcome to the family and friends here today with us, and a hearty congratulations to the class of 2022. As trustees, this is our favorite day of the year because we get to celebrate alongside you, who are the embodiment of our goals for this college. Thank you. Although we're not often on campus, we receive regular updates about your accomplishments and your struggles when we meet with the college's executive staff at our board meetings. We know the last 2 years have not been easy for you, and they haven't been what you've expected from your college experience, but we are inspired by your tenacious focus on completing your degrees. As a board, we admire your ability to be agile and resilient during a time when it was very difficult to plan uncertainty. It is simply the case that the future paths for each of us are uncertain. But the past 2 years have demonstrated to us, and I hope for you, that you have the skills, insight, and intellect to manage uncertainty, perhaps more than any other graduating class. You are true trailblazers in every sense of the word. As you complete your college experience today, I hope that you will remember this very special place, MCLA, and that you will return here to share your post-collegiate experiences with your faculty and with the next generation of students. MCLA is now an important part of your personal history, and I hope it will continue to be an important part of your future. Congratulations once again to the class of 2022.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Kennedy Sobin, president of the class of 2022. Kennedy is from Schuylerville, New York. She is graduating today with majors in psychology and art with a studio concentration. Kennedy is a wellness ambassador on campus and vice president of the Psychology Club. Join me in welcoming Kennedy.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the class of 2022, thank you to all of our friends and family for being here today as we reach this monumental milestone. I think I speak for everyone up here when I say that without your love and support, this might not even be possible. To all my peers, I hope you walk away today proud with your head held high. When I first came to MCLA, I noticed that a great majority of the faculty and staff here are also alumni. I thought, why would anyone want to stay in North Adams for longer than they needed to? However, throughout my time here, I've realized that there's a certain type of magic that exists on this campus. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where that magic comes from, and I wish I had a concrete answer. Maybe it's the beauty of the mountains and the way that the leaves change in the fall, or it's the amazing people you meet here over the course of 4 years. For me, it's been the opportunity to flourish into adulthood with support in every direction. Whatever the reason it may be for you, I know we're all going to walk away here today leaving a piece of our hearts at MCLA. As a graduating senior, you're often asked if you're excited to leave. And while I'm excited to start my life as a college graduate, I jump at the opportunity to stay here just a little while longer in any way that I could, simply because I'm not ready to let this community go. But I know MCLA has given me the tools to do just that. Leaving here today, it's our responsibility to create and spread this magic we've acquired from MCLA into every room we walk into. I feel confident when I say that we all have the ability to do this. So let's take today to not just celebrate our accomplishments, but to celebrate crossing this threshold and welcoming a new chapter into our lives. A chapter that for many of us is the beginning of an entirely new book. Class of 22, congratulations, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for each and every one of us.
Thank you, Kennedy, and congratulations. I am confident that you and your fellow graduates will contribute to improving the lives of others as you embark on this next chapter of your life. I am now pleased to introduce Temesgen Araya, a candidate for the Master of Business Administration. Temesgen is a first-generation American of East African parents who immigrated to the United States during the early 70s from Eritrea. His parents wanted an opportunity to live the American dream and raise their children to have a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. Temesgen received his undergraduate degree from New York City College of Technology with a Bachelor of Applied Science and Hospitality Management. Before moving to Berkshire County in 2019, he was the general manager for the food service operation for NBC in Rockefeller Plaza. He is now the director of dining for Williams College. Please join me in welcoming Temesgen to the podium. Good morning. Congratulations. Would you like me to hold
Thank you, President Birch, faculty, staff, students, families, especially my wife, who was, by the way, 8 months pregnant with baby number 5 while I was working in the hospitality industry, preparing for our on-campus semester in the midst of a global pandemic when I first started my MBA program. I know you're all happy you're graduating, but no one is happier than my wife. I can promise you that. I am a first-generation American from East African parents who immigrated to the United States during the 70s from Eritrea. My parents' individual path in leaving everyone they knew and loved behind due to a violent war always remind me of their perseverance. I want to tell you all about an experience I had a few years ago, before moving to the Berkshires. I worked in a corporation in Midtown, New York, and entered as an assistant manager. My mentor at the time taught me a saying, "Do what others will not today, so you could do what others can't tomorrow." Which reminds me once again about my parents' perseverance. I worked hard and my family supported and sacrificed a lot to allow me an opportunity to grow. A couple of years later, I became a manager, then director. The operations general manager moved on, the position was vacant. I just finished organizing and executing one of the largest events of the year. My natural assumption was, I wanted an opportunity to be a candidate for the GM position. I spoke to our area district manager about the position, and they laughed and said, "Oh no, we're looking for a certain set of skills and experiences to take on this role." They hired a search firm, and a GM was hired, and they looked the part, spoke the part, but were not doing the part. A few months later, our GM resigned and left the company. Instead of going through the embarrassment of asking about the position again, I had a personal decision to make and decided instead of giving up, I thought about my mentor saying, Do what others will not today so you can do what others can't tomorrow. I also reflect on the perseverance of my parents in leaving their country for a better environment and opportunity. I decided I will be the part. I took on the role and decided to lead until the corporation decided what to do. For months, I did the job needed to be done and decided to explore other opportunities and was offered a job. I notified my employer, and suddenly I was the right fit. I eventually accepted the GM job, but it never felt right. Why was it so hard? What was missing? I would like to take a moment to bridge this experience and reflect on the pandemic and the many layers of issues that were exposed in the last 2 years. I would like to take particular focus on the workforce. Throughout my MBA, we experienced a vast array of topics and really were able to have robust discussions with various viewpoints from operations to economics. But we had a few classes that really played a practical role describing the vast array of issues with the workforce, such as business ethics, sustainability, social responsibility, and managing and leading. With discussions on strategic plans, missions, values, visions, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and sustainability, we dove into how business could establish an environment that was built and guided by core principles. But even these principles had a workforce that many have been laid off, furloughed, which would give them an opportunity to reflect that they were not cared for, nurtured, developed, and recognized. I challenge all of us as the future workforce, as supervisors, managers, directors, leaders, to create an environment that is nurturing, caring, thoughtful, equitable, and inclusive. We have an opportunity to learn from the past and the present to create a better future, not because we must, but because we want to, and because we can't do what others will not today. Thank you.
Thank you, Temesgen. I offer my congratulations to you and to all of our graduates in the MBA program today. Today, we are privileged to recognize three very special individuals who have made significant contributions of service and leadership to Berkshire County, the Commonwealth, their respective communities, and our nation. This year's honorary degree recipients are accomplished and distinguished. Their achievements in the area of public service and the humanities are noteworthy and unique. Would Chair Boudrum and Vice Chair Burdick please join me at the podium as we recognize our honorary degree recipients. Would the Honorable Thomas Bernard please join us at the podium. Thomas Bernard, you have spent decades of your life doing mission-driven work, and we have all been lucky that you have done so much of that work here in North Adams, where you grew up, where your family is, and where your heart resides. You are a North Adams native, a graduate of North Adams schools, the son of teachers who attended MCLA when it was North Adams State College. After high school, you stayed in the area, earning your degree from Williams College, then moving to Boston to launch your career. Sometimes one must leave to come back, and you did, starting the next chapter of your adult life as a development officer at the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art. By then, you had met and married your wife, Jen, who has been a major source of support for you throughout your career, and had your daughter, Alex. You've described them as the center of your universe, and you have said family is a central part of everything you believe in, everything that drives you. That recognition has kept North Adams and the Berkshires at the center of your universe as well. After playing a key role in the early development of the museum, you hopped over to another planet in the Northern Berkshires, MCLA, where you established the grants office as a part of the Office of Advancement, and you worked on fundraising that has helped strengthen everything about our mission. Your work has helped secure funding that supports our faculty, creates new opportunities for students, and of course helped to build the Feigenbaum Center for Science and Innovation here on campus. You also work to fulfill your own mission of service and citizenship, taking on roles on the board of the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition, as a Drury High School band parent, and as a founding member of the organization that became the North Adams Chamber of Commerce. You became a key member of the MCLA President's Team in 2009 and helped to recruit and nominate numerous members of the faculty, the Board of Trustees, and our current board chair. You also earned your master's degree from Westfield State University. You left MCLA to take on a role at Smith College as Director of Special Projects, where you served a new community and a new mission, gathering more experience. But you missed the direct service and volunteerism you were able to offer here in your hometown, and the opportunity to run for mayor presented itself at just the right time. As it turns out, you came back just when we needed you the most, someone who could think quickly and strategically, consider many perspectives and ideas simultaneously, someone whose deep love for his community gives him the constitution to power through adversity. Through the early days of the pandemic, you worked tirelessly for our community, standing beside the other leaders of our communities and beside me as we worked to keep people safe and healthy. You worked to make sure every public school child still had access to meals and the technology that makes remote learning possible. You've reflected on how challenging it was to lead the city through this time and have said, at the best of times, you're given as much support as you are receiving. Now you have taken your mission-driven approach to your role as CEO of Berkshire United Way, where your leadership will continue to enrich lives in the Berkshires, the center of your universe, your home. Thomas Bernard, you have given so much to your community. You have helped MCLA realize so much of its vision. For all you have given, the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service honoris causa. Would Susan Gold please join us at the podium? Susan Gold, you have spent your lifetime creating opportunities for others, working tirelessly for causes you believe in, and making the Northern Berkshires a better place for everyone who resides here. It is my honor to celebrate you today and to work with you as a longtime member of the MCLA community. You are a native of Adams, a daughter of industry, someone who has seen the Berkshires go through many changes since you were a child, including hard times that impacted everyone in our communities. You come from an industrious family, from your grandfather who immigrated here and began herding cattle, then became a butcher, then started the Adams Supermarkets chain, which eventually combined with Big Y. During the Depression, he set an example by giving food to families who needed it. Your parents continued the family legacy of generosity and made sure you and your siblings knew your family's success was because of the community around you, and that it was a shared responsibility to continue that cycle and give back in whatever ways you could. You attended American University, started a family, and returned to the area in your late 20s. In your 40s, you found purpose and passion in volunteering, helping raise funds for Images Cinema's renovation, the North Adams Hospital's Reach Foundation, and so many other causes, including becoming a community liaison for Mass MoCA as it was opening here in North Adams, helping connect the museum's leadership to the wider Northern Berkshire community. Your work with MCLA is at the forefront of your commitment to our region. You have been a member of the MCLA Foundation Board on and off for the past 30 years, following in the footsteps of your mother, Florence Weinberg, who was one of the foundation's original members. As a member of our campus community, you attended student recognition events and heard so many stories of students whose lives were changed on this campus. As a graduate of public schools in Adams, you knew well the value of public education, and you leaned deeper into the cause, eventually joining the MCLA Board of Trustees and helping lead the fundraising efforts that resulted in the Feigenbaum Center for Science and Innovation. As board chair, you led the presidential search that resulted in me joining this incredible community. You spent 11 years on our Board of Trustees, and our commencement ceremonies would need to be twice as long as usual for me to list all of the work that you have done, all of the things you have helped us to accomplish. I know you are not yet done. You are a connector, someone who is ready to lead a charge, someone who is never intimidated by hard work or commitment. You are a leader by example, and your generous heart has led you to change lives, lift up the Northern Berkshires, and create seemingly endless opportunities for others, all without seeking recognition. You know you can help, so you do. Your commitment to MCLA is a model for others, and you humble us all. Susan Gold, for your commitment to our students, to our campus, to the Berkshires, for your humility and grace, for your generosity of every kind, the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor Humane Letters honoris causa. Would Commissioner Carlos Santiago please join us at the podium? Dr. Carlos E. Santiago, you are a champion of public higher education, an incredible role model, and a leader whose approach to equity has truly changed the Commonwealth. I am honored to have you with us as our commencement speaker. As a labor economist with Puerto Rican roots, you have academic and lived experience of social mobility. You've taught at many universities, including Wayne State University and SUNY Albany, where you rose to chair the Department of Latin and Caribbean Studies. You were a Ford Foundation Fellow at Yale University after earning your PhD from Cornell and earning your bachelor's degree from the University of Miami, as well as a master's degree from the University of Puerto Rico. Your education in labor economics was an incredible foundation for the work you went on to do as an academic administrator, becoming provost and vice president for academic affairs at SUNY Albany, then serving as the chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, where you helped raise $125 million for the university's research arm, before moving on to chair the Hispanic College Fund, a nonprofit that aims to prepare Hispanic young people for professional careers. You continue to serve as the fund's CEO today, helping students access scholarships funded by major donors such as General Dynamics. You came to Massachusetts in 2013 as the Senior Deputy Commissioner for Academic Affairs, and in 2015, Governor Baker appointed you as Commissioner for the Department of Higher Education. Since then, you have wasted no time addressing racial inequities in public higher education, and you even found the time to publish a book, Puerto Ricans in the United States, a contemporary portrait, a highly praised work that offers a panoramic view of the Puerto Rican experience. As Commissioner, you have deep understanding of our changing student population, from the experience of first-generation students to the growing number of Black and brown students attending college in Massachusetts. You have worked hard to reach those populations where they are and offer them the resources they need to thrive as students, and then as professionals making significant contributions to their communities and to the regional economy. You have said, our focus is on fixing systems, not students, transforming organizations, not tweaking around the edges. With that, you have transformed the Department of Higher Education, working to adopt an equity agenda that encompasses all public higher education institutions in the state with a person-first focus that has been instrumental for students, faculty, and staff. You have done so much to increase access to college and address racial inequities in public higher education. You enabled thousands of high school students to enroll in college courses for credit for free. You've significantly increased financial aid, and you developed a seamless system of credit transfer from community colleges to four-year institutions. You have shifted the model of higher education in Massachusetts to be more caring, more inclusive, and ready to mobilize to meet the needs of a changing demographic, from instituting food pantries at every state university to helping design a summer bridge program that helps prepare high school students for college. You have done all this work with good humor while being accessible to all of us in public higher education, while being transparent about your goals and your charge to the leaders of each institution. You were a calm, steady leader during the pandemic, and your expert guidance has ensured that countless students were able to stay in school or complete their education despite economic setbacks brought on by COVID-19. Dr. Carlos E. Santiago, for your commitment to public higher education, for your interdisciplinary and far-reaching work in improving access to college for Black and brown students, for your exemplary leadership in a changing world, the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service honoris causa. It's now my pleasure and great honor to present to you our commencement speaker, Commissioner Carlos Santiago.
Muy buenos días. Good morning, everyone. It's a hot day to have two of these on, so I'm going to take one off. Thank you. Thank you so much. President Burge, Chair Boudram, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, students, parents, families, and friends. I bring you greetings from Governor Charlie Baker, Secretary of Education James Pizer, and the Board of Higher Education Chair Chris Gabrielli. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to join you and provide remarks and receive an honorary degree. I also acknowledge and join MCLA in the cadre of honorary doctoral recipients today, both of whom I have worked with in the past. Tom Bernard worked with under the previous administration, and with Trustee Susan Gold. She and I conspired and worked very closely to bring to MCLA the president that sits before us. Thank you. I begin by congratulating MCLA's graduates. At any other time, your achievement would simply be celebrated, which would be the end of it. But this is no ordinary time. When you began your college career at MCLA, the term COVID had never been uttered. When you began your college career, you didn't have to mask up unless you were doing open heart surgery or were planning to rob a bank. When you began your college career, you could engage in online and remote learning if you wanted to, not because you had to. When you began your college career, you could live in a campus dormitory because you wanted to and not have to move back in with your parents. When you began your college career, you could interact with faculty, staff, and other students face to face rather than on a screen. When you began your college career, the term Zoom was known but not often used. The term Zoom butt did not exist. When you began your college career, you never had a COVID puppy and never realized that golden doodles are the best dogs ever. And full disclosure, as if you didn't notice, I have a COVID puppy golden doodle named Luna. You are the epitome of perseverance. Your ability to continue your academic career to graduation is to be celebrated. You have succeeded in your quest amid the most convulsive circumstances that we can remember. When I was an undergraduate, from 1970 to 1973, I used to think that that was the most tumultuous time in higher education in a generation. And yes, I completed my undergraduate career in 3 years and immediately entered graduate school. We were in the midst, at that time, we were in the midst of an unpopular war, and the military draft had been instituted to include college male students. I remember sitting in my dorm room with my roommates and watching the draft bingo to determine whether you were to stay in college or you were to go off to war. Our society was as more polarized than ever as the incumbent president, at the time Nixon, engaged in a series of activities that later were found to be illegal, and he was forced to resign. The civil rights movement had made significant gains with the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, but we were far from achieving racial reconciliation. De facto segregation continued to exist despite the desire for integration in our society. Likewise, the women's movement celebrated the Supreme Court decision regarding Roe versus Wade in 1972. It was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, and the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. That was That was 1970 to 1973. And today, there exist several parallels and some differences. One significant difference is that in 1970-73, we didn't have millions dying worldwide due to a pandemic. That pandemic continues to plague our society today despite the improvements brought about by science and research. Today's war pits an authoritarian country, Russia, against a neighbor, Ukraine. It is a war of one sovereign power seeking to destroy the other and targeting civilians, including women and children. Well, this is not our war, as it was in 1970. It is as destructive as anything we ever saw in World War II. There is a clear choice here today, authoritarianism versus democracy, and you can take your pick. While in the 1970s, the term sit-ins and many demonstrations impacted campuses and universities alike, we never had anything as serious as an occupation of the Capitol or a threat to members of Congress. Our society was polarized then, but not to the extent that many citizens rejected the results of a legitimate election. These are stressful times for all of us. Over the last few years, we saw what was unheard of in education, in higher education, when I was an undergraduate or graduate student. Today's students report greater food insecurity, more homelessness. I learned the term couch surfing from community college students at Bunker Hill Community College when I first began in this job, and more significant needs than ever for mental health interventions. Enrollments plummeted in Massachusetts over the last 2 years as students, particularly in our community colleges, could not prioritize education given the challenges of job loss, COVID impact on their families and communities, and the many deaths that they experienced, lack of childcare and the like. Going to college for many of those students was less of a priority as family sustenance took precedence. Students of color in particular had their college going and college completion plans derailed. In Massachusetts, community college enrollment declined by 1/3, 33% in the fall of 2020, an unheard of result. The pandemic has created a more significant disconnect with our fellow humans. Each Zoom meeting we attend, despite its apparent convenience, separates us from the humanity in all of us. This is what you have lived over the past 2 years. This is what you have overcome to reach your academic goals. I salute you. So what is the Massachusetts system of public higher education doing to address some of these critical issues? Well, in 2018, we launched an equity agenda, and this June, we bring before the board a 10-year strategic plan for racial equity, the first of its kind. Why are we doing this? Why have we launched this initiative? Well, we are the education state. Massachusetts, and if you want to know what defines the education state, we have the highest percentage of our state's population ages 25 to 64 with a post-secondary credential or a degree. We are at 65%. Most states are around 50. That makes us the most educated state in the nation. We have the highest college-going rates in the nation. We have the highest high school graduation rates in the nation. We need students. We produce students. Our public higher education institutions are the biggest machines of social mobility that we have in this state. And I include private institutions. It is our public institutions that are driving that. But now the not so good news. We are leaving way too many students behind. Our population is declining in absolute numbers. That means more people die every year in Massachusetts than are born. But there is growth. The growth is occurring among our students of color. the populations largely located in urban centers are growing relative to the overall population. But we are leaving too many students behind. If we look at the data and want to know what differentiates a student who succeeds in higher education and one that does not, it's an interesting observation. It's the zip code in which they were born and raised. That will tell you all you need to know. And that in and of itself is a sign of inequity. In terms of other states, we're in the middle to the back of the pack when it comes to disparities, huge disparities across racial and ethnic lines in Massachusetts. So that's why we're doing this. We are a knowledge-based economy. We depend on people. We depend on brains over brawn. So what are we doing? We're building a strategic plan that, again, will be taken to the Board of Higher Education. That plan is a reflection of the work that occurs on this campus and our 28 other public institutions. That plan has been vetted and has received input from many of the faculty and staff, and certainly the presidents and leadership of this institution. And for that, I am grateful. We are auditing all of our policies because we, the Department of Higher Education, is responsible for a lot of those inequities that we see in Massachusetts. We have to change our policies to address that. We have created, for the first time since 1988, this is almost embarrassing to say, in 1988 is the last time that Massachusetts ever did a study of the undergraduate experience. And we've just completed one that is going to inform what we do. We are transforming, or trying to transform our institutions from focusing on college-ready students to student-ready colleges. And I'm delighted to know that MCLA is very much at the forefront of these discussions. So, we have a ways to go, but we have started marching down this road, and we've learned a lot. One of the things we learned is that you cannot do work to remedy inequities without transforming your organization from within. And that's how we're approaching this as well as a department, as well as our institution. So my final thoughts is that these initiatives that we are taking in Massachusetts, which are unique, no other state is doing these things the way we are doing it in Massachusetts. There is a Massachusetts way, and it is rather special. But it is a sad commentary when what I have told you today, this morning, could not be said as a public official in other states. I couldn't say this in Georgia. I couldn't say this if I was a public official in North Carolina. I couldn't say this in Texas. I'm likely would not even be able to say this in the state I spent 6 years at, in Wisconsin. We're a very, very polarized society, and that is unfortunate. We are also doing this to become a better democracy. Democracy, the evolution of our democracy means we need to include more people, not less. That's what a democracy is all about. So I'm proud to work with our public institutions, but as I related what I experienced as an undergraduate in 1970 to 73, one thing I didn't tell you is that I was supremely optimistic. The joy of being young. I thought we were going to change the world, and we did. But we created some messes along the way that a lot of you have now inherited. But as I look out and as I talk to students, you share the optimism that many of us we had as students. You share it, and that gives me a real sense of hope. So thank you for completing your degree. Thank you for working hard, and thank you for making us a better democracy.
Thank you, Commissioner Santiago. As we begin to announce this year's degree candidates, I would like to acknowledge Modern Languages Professor Graziana Ramsden and Vice President of Academic Affairs Richard Glazier, who will help us through this important part of the program. Thank you, Drs. Ramsden and Glazier.
Go. Will the candidates for the Master of Business Administration and Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies please rise? President Burge, I have the honor to present the candidates who have completed the requirements for the Masters of Business Administration and Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies.
By the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts through the Department of Higher Education and the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, I am pleased to confer upon these designated candidates who have completed all academic requirements and who have been approved by the graduate faculty, Masters of Business Administration and Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. I invite the faculty who have served as graduate program advisors to assemble in the area adjacent to the ramp to my right to greet the graduates.
Will the candidates for Masters of Business Administration and Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies please come forward? Temesgen A. Araya. Sarah Ellen Bloom. Barbara Emanuel. Elizabeth Ann Lesage. Nicole J. Fowler. Amanda Lee Schuler. Ivelis Campos. Julia K. Marco. Michael J. Klein.
Will the candidates for the Master of Education, the MED, please rise? President Burge, I have the honor to present the candidates who have completed the requirements for the Masters of Education.
By the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts through the Department of Higher Education and the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, I am pleased to confer upon these designated candidates who have completed all academic requirements and who have been approved by the graduate faculty the degree of Master of Education with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. I invite the faculty who have served as graduate program advisors to assemble in the area adjacent to the ramp to my right to greet the graduates.
Will the candidates for Masters of Education please come forward? Gretchen J. Wells. Nicole Renee Halvorsen. Jennifer Durant Towler. Eric M. Sokolowski. Ida M. Patella. Parker Snyder. Tessa Langsdale. Abigail Berry. David DeMary. Rebecca Stinnard. Nathaniel Abel. Edward V. Burdick. Sarah M. Kenny. Ashley Blevins. Cale M. Scrocky. Donald Real Collingsworth. Oh, sorry. Sorry, too early. Now, yes, Donald Real Collingsworth. Sorry about that, Cale.
Since its inception, many students have taken on the extra challenge to be part of the honors program here at MCLA. Today, we are pleased to celebrate the graduation of 8 students who have completed the requirements of the honors program and who are graduating with all college honors. Students who reach this mark of distinction must complete a series of intensive honors courses and maintain an overall grade point average of 3.4. This year's honors graduates are Brianna Brault, Brianna Christie, Shauna Rose Hennessy, Haley Rode, Alyssa Eden, Fiona Halloran, Mitchell Cavani, Emma Marino, Hannah McCormick, Michael Ritigliano, Anna Sheely, and Adelina Teodorescu. In addition to completing all the requirements for the College Honors Program, Brianna Brault also completed the requirements for recognition as a Commonwealth Scholar, a statewide designation. Also, we would like to acknowledge our 2022 MCLA scholars, Roman Robledo, Michael Ritigliano, Brianna Brault. Congratulations. Would this year's honors program graduates and MCLA scholars please stand so that we can know who you are? In addition to earning their primary degree in an arts or science discipline, candidates who have been enrolled in the undergraduate education program at MCLA also have earned either a second degree in education or have completed the requirements to receive licensure in education. In both cases, the candidates have successfully completed a program designed to meet the requirements for state-approved licensure in early childhood, elementary, middle school, or secondary education. Will the undergraduate candidates for either a second degree in education or licensure in education please stand to be recognized?
A number of students receiving their baccalaureate degrees today do so with distinction as the result of superior academic achievement. That is, they will graduate cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. These are notable honors, and the characteristics of each designation are defined in your commencement program. Professor Ramsden will note each student receiving one of these honors when the individual crosses the stage. Now, will all the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science of the class of 2022 please rise? President Burge, I have the honor to present to you the candidates who have completed the requirements for the degrees Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
By the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts through the Department of Higher Education and the Board of Trustees of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, I am pleased to confer upon these designated candidates who have been successfully completed all academic requirements and who have been approved by the faculty the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelors of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may be seated.
Please note that in some instances, we will be calling more than one department to come forward at the same time. Representatives from the respective departmental faculties are invited to greet their graduates in the area adjacent to the ramp to the left of the stage as you view it. Thank you. Ha ha ha. Please hold your applause until all candidates in each major have received their degree. Will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Arts in Psychology please rise and come forward? Deanna Morrow. Hadley Milkey. Kayla Ruff, magna cum laude. Rebecca R. Dion, magna cum laude. Mary Hope Caulfield, summa cum laude. Nicole F. Main. Jacqueline Murphy, cum laude. Madison Benlin, summa cum laude. Trinity Elizabeth Shellard. Ariana Jean Walden. Jenna N. Berg, summa cum laude. Kelsey Lafreniere, summa cum laude. Timothy E. Duncan. Mitchell Keaveney, cum laude. Brianna E. Brolt, cum laude. Ashley E. Clements. Jamie Vakula. Joan Marie McKinney, cum laude. Olivia Presley. Michael Atkins. Kennedy B. Soban, magna cum laude. Emily Marino, summa cum laude. Janitza Taina Santiago. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Arts Management please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Art please rise? And will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Performing Arts please rise and come forward? And will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Fine and Performing Arts also please rise and come forward? Paula Kingsbury Evans, cum laude. Antonio L. Burton, Jr. Alana O'Connor. Odiase Williamson. Christopher M. Dubiago. Anna Sheehy. Magna cum laude. Alex Anatoly Alexandrov. Jasmine Armstrong, magna cum laude. Melanie R. Davis, summa cum laude. Sam Berfel. Zayda Dalia Brazo, cum laude. Jessica Muniz. Haley Rode, summa cum laude. Brian Vincent Butler. Matthew J. Lesage, Jr. Bex Lake. Zachary Lee Wagner. Patrick Elliott. Anthony Simon, magna cum laude. Abigail Faye Daggett, magna cum laude. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Community Health please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Radiological Science please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training please rise? And will these 4 groups please come forward? Brianna Baez Duverge. Alisa González Valdez. Francesca González Durán. Julie Johnson. Emma J. O'Keefe. Elizabeth Wood. Alexa Bullitt, cum laude. Brooke Elizabeth Lusher, cum laude. Brooke Sanford Wilson, summa cum laude. Erin Geneva Sears, summa cum laude. Justine Catherine Wood. Rebecca Hover, magna cum laude. Mackenzie R. Quackenbush, cum laude. Apollo Gillette, summa cum laude. Maylee Dano. Nora C. Griffin, magna cum laude. Molly Clement. Shirley Nicole Napravnik Valero, summa cum laude. Gabrielle Knoll, magna cum laude. Micah Angelo Tassone, summa cum laude. Miguel E. Risigno, summa cum laude. Lucas De Lazo. Hannah Mazio. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Biology please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Chemistry please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Environmental Studies please rise? And will these three groups please come forward? Timothy Gibo, magna cum laude. Ryan Jared Mackenzie, magna cum laude. Adelina Teodorescu, summa cum laude. Austin A. Rashelli, magna cum laude. Madeline Amelia Gibney, magna cum laude. Jacob A. Stewart. Junior Harold Florent. Roman J. Robledo, summa cum laude. Tyler Phillips, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Rogers. Sienna Paulson, summa cum laude. Abby Jean Abramson, summa cum laude. Onasi Soto Varias, cum laude. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Business Administration please rise and come forward? Kylie T. Lockwood Boubier. Melanie Carol Dow, summa cum laude. Mariana B. Mello, summa cum laude. Alison Elizabeth Zoito, cum laude. Lev Glinchikov, cum laude. Jeremiah Figueroa. Ravi Gonj. Ian Ford Hunt. Jade Ashley McClellan, cum laude. Alyssa Maisie Fink, cum laude. Natasha Danielle Stewart, cum laude. Reagan Elizabeth Scattergood, cum laude. Joseph Manuel Serrano. Brett M. Norman. Graham Nathan Pogue, cum laude. Eric Matthew Willis. Hayden Nathan Bird. Emmy Ray Chalana. Shannon Elizabeth Carney. Justin Daniels. Jeriah Sire Marzuk Morris. Jose Perez. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies please rise? And will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy please rise? And will these two groups please come forward? Kelita Petronila Alarcón. Juliana Luna Vázquez. Max Gabrieli. Justin D. Biazin, summa cum laude. Tarcisio Ramos dos Santos. Fiona Kaylee Halloran, summa cum laude. Ashley Finkelstein, cum laude. Taylor Ann Duran, magna cum laude. Wendy Ann Lyons, cum laude. Laura Maureen Petruzella. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Sociology please rise and come forward? Hannah Rose McCormick, cum laude. Mairead Noble Wolf, magna cum laude. Ariana M. Evans, cum laude. Alison M. Lilly, summa cum laude. Mackenzie Marie Copeland. Elise Spring Lindgren, summa cum laude. Julia Sage Bertolet, summa cum laude. Mónica Patricia Bernal Leira, cum laude. Sarah Tomkowitz. Emily Rose Burke, magna cum laude. Sophia George, magna cum laude. Bright Arma Affle. Mardo Buanga. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in English please rise? And will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Communications please rise? And will these two groups please come forward? Brett Robert Murphy, cum laude. Jace Gilbert. Sylvia Raven Broom, cum laude. Michael Rotigliano, summa cum laude. Chase McPherson, summa cum laude. Natalia Marie Giacomosi, cum laude. Joshua Valliere. David Jamina. Michael James O'Brien, summa cum laude. Catherine Trin Napier, summa cum laude. Cara Mia Fusco. Sarah Troy, magna cum laude. Brianna Kiki Christie, summa cum laude. Anangeli S. Oquendo Perez. Kimberly Almeida. Shauna Hennessy, summa cum laude. May Craig, magna cum laude. Emma Convery, summa cum laude. Chloe Mascitelli, summa cum laude. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Computer Science please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Science in Physics please rise? And will these two groups please come forward? Nicholas Johnson, cum laude. Thomas Irwin. Isaiah Scott Chenier. Ryan Wilczak. Adam Ziba, magna cum laude. Carter M. Haas, magna cum laude. Daniel A. Kelson, magna cum laude. Joseph Doyle, summa cum laude. Alexander James Dion, summa cum laude. Jeremy Griffin, summa cum laude. Jacob Thomas Sawyer. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Art in Political Science please rise? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Art in Political Science and Public Policy please rise? And will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Science in History please rise? And will these three groups please come forward? Patrick William DeMeo. Samuel B. Levitz, magna cum laude. Mary Agar. Paige T. Wandry, magna cum laude. Johannes Lanz. Colby Clegg. Isaiah Moore. Anthony Combs. Brianna Mensah. Grace Gaughan. Samantha Elizabeth Harrington, summa cum laude. Ian James Smith, magna cum laude. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Art in Education please rise and come forward? Kaylee Nocher. Mackenzie Viola, summa cum laude. Cassandra Champagne Crozier, cum laude. Alicia J. Briggs, magna cum laude. Alexander Michael Little, magna cum laude. Ashton Marie Goyette, summa cum laude.
The Greek philosopher Heraclitus suggests that the only permanence in life is change. If that thinking is true, you, the graduating class of 2022, are very different people today than when you arrived at MCLA. It is the case that you now have a developing expertise in an academic discipline that you did not have 4 years ago. You have discovered the importance of others' way of thinking that have challenged and perhaps changed your own thought patterns. Some of you arrived as business majors and are leaving as artists, while others who dreamed of becoming a teacher discovered the complexities of our educational system and are ready and prepared to enhance its quality. Some of you discovered an inner leader that allowed you to become the president of the Student Government Association or captain of your athletic team. All of you have changed in one way or another, which is exactly what a liberal arts education is intended to do. You are now ready to learn even more about yourselves, your careers, and the world. It is also the case that the world is a different place today than it was when you arrived. There is a pressing need in the world today for thoughtful, intelligent, creative, resilient people like you. The world and our communities are calling for more MCLA graduates to ameliorate the conditions that have become so oppressive and so dangerous for so many. Use your education, your knowledge, to create change while bringing more kindness into the world. As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Fortunate for the world, you have been educated well by my colleagues at MCLA. You know how to identify and solve problems. You are skilled at working with groups of people to advance improvement. You are practiced in the art of knowing where to find beauty and how to help others find their own truth. Having been raised in the digital age, you know how to apply technology to solve problems, and you understand the importance of serving one's community. Let me reinforce what I've just said. We educate people to help advance society. We educate people to discover beauty and truth. We educate people to use technology, and we educate public servants. We educate students not just so that they have a better life, but so that we all have a better life. Could there be a more noble mission for higher education? This is our compact with society that makes higher education the most important social institution in our nation. As graduates of MCLA, you are a promise we make to the world to honor the century-old purpose of American higher education, which is to respond to the needs and demands of society. You are the best hope and strategy we have to improve this broken world. And so this is my charge to you. The motto of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts is Lux Esto Vera. In light, there is truth. MCLA has lighted the lantern of truth in you. Use this light, this truth, to reveal what you can do to improve the world for all of us. To the members of the class of 2022, you are now graduates of Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. Please move your tassel on your mortarboard from right to left. I declare these 123rd commencement exercises now concluded. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2022. Ready? Sorry, Paul.